Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Marvel made Spider-Man, issue number 1. Now, as you know, during 2004 and that, Marvel had a different thing to Marvel Adventures called Marvel Age Spider-Man. Now, the difference is that mainly Marvel Age Spider-Man was meant to be the original kid-friendly series, the same with other Marvel stories, until it was all cancelled and moved to Marvel Adventures. I do have a bit of a theory that maybe reusing Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's stories and updating them were probably not a good idea. So, mainly the cover has Vulture and Peter Parker battling, and let's get on with the story. The story starts off how it shows Peter's defeated by the Vulture, and it goes back mainly to where a woman is seen by a guy and tries to run from him, and Vulture ends up stealing her purse, saying, "Hey, give that back, you thief!" And so a photographer, which I'm guessing is meant to be Eddie Brock, takes the picture of the Vulture and pretty much put a new award at 500. So meanwhile, Peter Parker gets harassed by Flash Thompson and his crew, and Peter tries to get his bag out of basically the paper thing, and Peter's like, "What's that? Who's the Vulture? Perfect, and here I have no quarters. Excuse me, do either of you have any change? Anyone?" So Peter pretty much sees Aunt May talk about the landlord and points out that since Uncle Ben died, they don't have any money, and Peter does offer to basically quit school and all that, and Aunt May says, "You will do no such thing, Peter. You are destined for great things, and I will not let you trade your future for a little bit of rent money." And so Peter decides to get a picture of the Vulture, and Aunt May gives basically Peter Uncle Ben's camera, and mainly web slings and that, and tries to find the Vulture, until he starts flying by, Peter taking the picture, and gets kicked down. And Vulture's like, well, the Amazing Spider-Man, huh? Or is it Spectacular Spider-Man? And so, much like his first appearance, he does throw him into the water whale, and Peter tries to get out, but has no lead fluids, so he has to do a big jump, and pretty much gets out, gets his camera, and goes into the school's photo lab the next day, and pretty much is able to get the pictures, and goes to the Daily Bugle, where Jameson's like, "Yeah, well, I guess it's not so bad. I'll give you $100 for the lot of them." But Peter negotiates 500, and he's like, "Alright, kid, I'll give you 500, but I want first look on everything else." And so, pretty much, Peter thanks Betty Brant, and they get to know each other's names. So Peter decides to create basically some sort of electromechanism that can disable the Vulture's wings after finding out how to beat him. And pretty much what's interesting is that we basically have snipers now on every roof, and you've got a detective who looks like Will's mum's boyfriend from Witch if he was a detective, and they point out that the Vulture left a note, and Vulture gets away with the diamonds. So the sniper's not shooting or anything, and they just let a villain get away. So Vulture flies off saying, "This is it, I'm rich, I'll never have to steal again. Of course, if you're good at something, why quit?" So Spider-Man jumps on the Vulture, and after a few hits and scrapes and flying by, Peter is able to defeat the Vulture and ends up taking pictures, and even Jameson gives Peter the money, and Aunt May asks, "Are you doing something legal?" But he says it was mainly taking pictures, and says, "Oh really? What were they pictures of?" "Nothing special, just a dumb bird." And so in the next story, you've got the Tinkerer working in his lab, and you've got Flash Thompson Liz saying, "Huh, look at Peter Parker back there. Class is over, and he can't tear himself away." And so Peter shows his teacher Warren basically his new gizmo called the Parkerizer, but it works a little too well and has to go pick up the computer after it's basically got wiped. So Peter basically gets the computer from the Tinkerer and goes down to his secret lab with the alien saying, "It is ready, sir." And what's interesting is as soon as Peter sets it up, when he gets back to school, he notices that there's a device in. Peter goes in and sees the aliens and kicks them down. And Tinkerer says, "That's enough," and starts firing at him. They manage to get away, and Peter's saying, "So he wasn't even human after all." And Flash points out that he did see a UFO, with Peter ending the story with a wink. And yeah, this is the story. So there is no origin to this Spider-Man series, and no what happened to Uncle Ben. I think the difference between Marvel Adventures and Marvel Age is that Marvel Age wasn't afraid to show Uncle Ben's death, while this series was. So this series isn't great, but it's not too bad. I think it's not bad, but I think there could have been a lot better with it. So I think it deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but could have been better. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.